So something like this.
Okay, let me show.
I like this, and also this.
Okay.
So maybe something between the two. Obviously her skin tone is much darker than mine, but what do you think?
Okay, what's your color history?
I've colored my hair for 40 some odd years.
Is it done in a salon or at home?
Typically done in a salon. I did a little change in the last year. I've been seeing the same guy forever.
Okay.
And I took a little break from him.
Yeah.
And I went to Madison Reed a couple of times just because it was so convenient.
Yeah.
And I did not like that color at all. So that's how I ended up with the red. When I was with my guy, we were doing kind of we actually went kind of blondish, kind of not too much darker, a little bit darker than what you have. So we did that.
When was the last time you highlighted it then?
Probably about a year.
A year?
9 months.
Okay.
10 months.
So you darkened those highlights. You have a photo of how light it was?
I think so.
Are we cutting any length off?
We are.
How much would you think?
I haven't had a haircut in probably a year.
Okay.
So it needs a good.
Okay.
It needs a good trim.
That's like the lightest it was?
Yeah, just about.
Okay. The only reason why I ask is if you had highlights before and you've darkened them, that's where it can be a little bit tricky. Your hair is going to be more fragile in those areas where it's previously highlighted.
Okay.
And so we'll just kind of have to see, we'll have to see how light your hair gets.
Okay.
What might happen is, because I can't perfectly pick out every highlight that was done previously, I'm just going to go in and do my placement, and what will happen in the foil is it's going to lift unevenly everywhere. Where the highlights are, where his permanent color is, where the Madison Reed color is, and then where your virgin is. Whatever piece in the foil gets to its lightest, and that's it, we have to stop.
Okay.
And then just rinse everything off. If we can hit some areas again and lighten it a little bit more, then great, we will. But if your hair just can't take it, then we kind of just have to do plan B and do something maybe darker, maybe like a mushroomy brown, just depends on your hair. And I won't know until we kind of go in and start doing it. But we can definitely break this up, get you lighter, have something that's going to blend a lot softer than what you currently are, make you less warm. But I just can't promise it'll be like your goal photos.
Oh no, I understand.
Yeah.
I completely understand. Yeah.
So
no, I know it's a tall order, so.
Yeah. So the way that I do my color too is we'll do the highlights. Now, are you okay with seeing gray in between the highlights when we're all done, like you're natural, or would you prefer it to be a little covered?
I'm kind of torn, honestly. So this is about 2 months outgrowth. This is the most I've ever done.
Yeah.
So I honestly didn't even know what my percentage of gray was.
Yeah.
Until I started looking at this, and I still couldn't say. I mean, what would you say my percentage of gray is?
Like 80.
Yeah, I mean that's a high number.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Would it bother you to see it? If there's some areas where you feel like it bothers you where you part it, we can do it there, or we can go without it, and then if you want to add the demi later, we can.
I think that's probably a good idea.
You want to go without it and then add it later if you want?
What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I always say do the least amount first. Like,
you can always add. You can't really take away.
Yes, exactly. I mean, you can. It's just more work to take away.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's do that.
And then the placements, you like it more dimensional, it looks like.
I do.
Do you want the front lighter?
I do.
A little bit more lighter in the front, and then would you
lighter.
like the ends a little bit lighter too?
Yes.
Okay. And then you're okay with if we need to tone you to maybe like an ashy brown tone if the hair doesn't lighten.
Sure.
And then another thing is I don't typically low light the hair, because if we're doing a corrective color, next time when you come in, if you want to go lighter and get rid of more of this warmth, I would pick it out. And so if we cover it with a low light and then lighten it next time, it doesn't really make sense to me to do that. So I would rather to leave this color in between the highlights. Are you okay with seeing that warmth in between too?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. And then how much length do you
I like the length of it now. This is the longest my hair's been in a long time. But I think, you know, at least an inch and a half.
How much is an inch for you? Okay. That's fine. Okay, sounds good. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So this week I have a new client who is wanting something that is just going to grow out really soft with her grays, so that when her roots do grow in, it gives her a really soft blend. She feels like this color looks really harsh because she has so much silver coming through. So we're gonna work on blending this out. Now, from the consultation you heard, she has various colors in her hair. She also has some old highlights and different base colors, and now her virgin root. So it is gonna be a little bit tricky. So, and her hair texture, I would say, is more medium to fine, but she has a lot of it. So I wanna make sure that I am a little bit more careful to maintain the integrity of her hair, because her hair is very long, and I know we are cutting it, but I still just want to be extra cautious. Now, she doesn't want to be like full gray, but just something ashy. And I always tell my clients the ashier that you go for your toner, the longer it lasts and the better it fades out and blends well with your gray pattern. So I'm gonna go in with my signature placement. I always start in the back, do some detail weaves to kind of start off her money piece, because even though the money piece frames the front, these hairs in the back essentially frame the front when the hair is especially this long. So you don't want to miss this part if you are doing a full color on a client, because missing this part can make the client feel like the ends are too dark, or maybe have some dark patches within the color. So I did a weave around the hairline and then kind of a diagonal back slice, and now I'm going to go in with my mohawk section, and I'm taking this all the way up to the front. So this back center section is going to connect all the way to the front of her hairline. So I'm doing slices back to back. These first few slices are going to be spaced out a little bit further apart, but as I gradually get closer towards the top of the head and more into the crown of the head, I'm going to space those slices a little bit closer together. And since this is more of a corrective color, I love to utilize slices to kind of get more coverage and also make it super easy for me to retouch the color when she comes in next time. Now, this client has already came in for her second session with me. If I have the footage, I'm not 100% sure if I do, but if I have it, I will for sure make a video on it. And she waited about 3.5 months after this session, which is so much better than waiting the standard like anywhere from like 4 to 8 weeks for your normal root touch-up, which is great. And even when she came in too, she said that it grew out really soft, which was our goal. And we just kind of tweaked it a little bit and made it a little bit more better. And as I did that session, I pretty much just picked out and sliced again what I left out this appointment. So the hairs that you're gonna see that are outside of the foil today, my goal for next time is essentially to pick them up so that we can get rid of her old color. So a few things in the consultation too that we discussed is that because she has various color histories, it is going to lift unevenly. That's my guess. And so whatever kind of lifts its lightest point, that's when we're gonna stop. So you can see I did the mohawk all the way towards the front of the face, did some detail hairline weaves, and now I'm gonna connect the top money with the side money. This is basically diagonal backs off the hairline to connect. And whenever I'm doing a full, I always, even sometimes a partial too, I always like to connect all my foils around the hairline. This is because if a client puts their hair up, I never want to see like dark patches
or gaps in between the highlights around the hairline. I feel like the highlights should all blend and connect together, especially if a client puts their hair up. I feel like that just aesthetically looks prettier and makes it look more cohesive and complete. So after I do the side money, you'd see I connect the front hairline money piece with the back, and I do a weave above the ear, and then above that I'm gonna do slices in the interior of her side section. And again, we're just doing slices all the way up until I meet that mohawk section. And the spacing on these slices are pretty much similar to the spacing in the back. I would say they are a little bit more spaced apart below the crown, and then as I get closer towards the crown, they will be spaced a little bit closer together. And that's just kind of to maintain some dimension throughout her hair, because all of her photos did seem more dimensional. So that's why I'm leaving a little bit more spacing on the underneath, like below the occipital and crown area, and then spacing them a little bit closer together. Oh, and I forgot to mention, I'm using the Danger Jones powder lightener, which is their 9+ levels of lift, and we did a first bowl of 5 volume and 20 volume, like equal parts, and then after that I'm just going to do 20 volume for the rest of the head. So moving on to her tip outs. Her tip outs are basically the hairs outside the foil because I want to brighten some of the ends. Her roots were more silvery, so if I don't do tip outs, then the roots will still look lighter than the ends. So I want the whole look to look cohesive because we're not doing that demi in between. We're leaving her natural gray pattern in between these highlights. So I want to make sure that the root still looks darker and the ends look lighter. So to do that, I need to add some tip outs. So all the hairs outside of the root foils, I separated them, and then I'm going to tease, weave, and over direct towards the face and then kind of paint at a slant. So now we are pulling out some of her foils. You can see from this clip, we started pulling her foils when her hair started to reach a level 9 in some areas, and then some areas possibly where she had like Madison Reed color or not sure, just lifted a little bit warmer, which was totally expected. So we're gonna have to go in with a toner that is going to just help cancel out all this warmth and even out the tone everywhere. But I just wanted to share with you that I was right, that the hair did lift unevenly. There's a little warm band in the mid part of her hair. The root lined a little bit lighter, and the ends, probably where the old highlights were, lightened a little bit lighter. But overall, her hair still felt great. And now we're going in with the toner. So for her toner formulation, we're using the Danger Jones gloss toners, and we did a mixture of their 5-1, their 6-01 for the root, and then for the ends I did a mixture of the 6-01 with their 9-12, and this is just going to help cancel and ash everything out and just kind of make it as ashy as possible so that she will have the best fade possible.
Oh wow.
Do you like the blend?
Oh my god. Wow. This is amazing. Yay! This is amazing. I honestly, I didn't have any kind of expectation going into this because I didn't know what we were going to be working with. And I kept, reminding myself what you said. It's like, okay, it might not, take the first time around and we'll kind of have to see. So I really didn't have any expectation, but I'm thrilled.
Yeah, no, I think the amount of dimension we put too matches perfectly. And the ends still look dimensional, but they're a little bit lighter. It just blends really well. Yeah.
I've never been anywhere remotely close to this color.
Really?
No. So, I mean, I've been light and I've been ombre, but yeah, this color is something totally completely new for me. So that's fun too. I absolutely love it.
I do too. It matches perfect. So perfect.
I can't believe it.
For us to keep going and make it even better each time. It makes me really excited.
Alrighty guys, so here is the finished look. Even though we did a toner that sometimes can look a little bit more gray on certain clients if they are lifted to a level 9 and 10, on this particular client we lifted her to, I would say, like a level 7, 8, and 9 because of the various different colors in her hair, and I feel like it toned out everything so beautifully. It looks more like a mushroomy ashy brown, which we did discuss in our consultation, and I feel like it just blends really well. I think the fact that we didn't do the demi in between the highlights actually makes this look even better because it's going to get lighter as it fades out, a little bit more blonde, and as it gets lighter too, it's going to blend so well with her gray pattern. Now it's great that she doesn't have any like super bold white patches. It's just like her gray pattern is so seamless and even that it blends right in with the highlights, and I was super happy with the way that this came out. Alrighty guys, that is it for this week's episode. Thank you guys so much for watching and tuning in, and as always, I will talk to you guys next week.